Hello, everyone. I'm Anthony, and this is Virtuale live streaming. And today we're going to do part two of why speaking is important. Okay, this is for language learners. It's some tips on how to improve your ability to speak, and we started last week with a slide presentation, some ideas. Let's review those before we start. Okay, going back, uh, speaking is important. Vocabulary, we talked about passive versus active vocabulary. This is a consideration of the total learning experience, words that you learn by reading, learning by listening, uh, understanding words that you can uh, have in your passive vocabulary versus the active vocabulary, which is your ability to speak. Sometimes, if you want to say something and the word doesn't come to you, that word is part of your passive vocabulary, but it's not active. Then we talked about some ideas regarding activation, maximizing your opportunities, negotiated interactions, and this is the point that we were analyzing at the end of the last um, video. Foster language awareness, we'll look at that and promote learner autonomy. Okay, we talked about these speaking opportunities. Every opportunity that you have is like an occasion. It's an occasion, a session to be able to learn. And that's how you should look at this when you are actually using English. Every time that you can use English, it's maybe a meeting, something, you have to think of yourself as a dual role as a manager and a mediator. Uh, some of the negotiation tactics we looked at, asking for information, clarification, an opinion, agreeing or disagreeing, telling stories, talking about experiences. These are all active negotiation that you do when you are interacting with an interlocutor. Uh, Here we talked about initiating the topic, being an active negotiator rather than just reacting and responding. Uh, and then we looked at this slide with the um, interaction to some of these features that are considered to be uh, activating features: clarification, confirmation, requesting, repairing, reacting, and recasting. Okay, go look at the Speaking is Important video 1. If you don't follow me, you can listen to that and watch that video. Let's go on to these elicitation techniques. We're always talking about negotiation. Negotiation is very important when you speak with someone. You should keep in mind that you do have this role, you have the control to a certain extent. Okay, you have yes, no, elicitation. Let me just see something. Yes, okay. You have the calling upon the learners to agree or disagree with a statement. Uh, um, okay, if you have a too passive of a reaction, this is a way that you can just interact doing a yes no elicitation technique. Is that correct? Do I understand? Okay, I'm asking questions that are used to elicit a yes no answer. Can you repeat is a very, very simple question, and you are more asking the interlocutor to repeat. But if you say something like, uh, are you saying blah, blah, blah? This is a yes no technique. While open elicitation, this is when the interlocutor produces a kind of information. So when the learner is providing a factual response, such as a name. What is your name? Okay, this is not just yes, no. This is my name is, a place. Where are you in this moment? Okay, a video conference. Are you in your bedroom? Yes, I am. Where are you? Where could be a question. When, how. These are questions that elicit a open response. And then you have the most another deeper level, which is the why. This is a process elicitation. You're asking for an opinion or an interpretation. These are why questions, okay? Just so that you can understand up to here. Here is an example. Do you know the president? Yes, I do. What is his name? His name is. Why is he important? No, and you have deepened the negotiation of understanding. Now, the last is a meta process. This is formulating the grounds of reasoning to explain the procedure by which they arrived at their response. Now, this is a little bit deeper, because what you're doing here is you're actually saying, why are you saying that? If I answer, why is the president important, and I say, well, in my opinion, the president is not important, then I may follow with a meta process question that is, what is behind your response? Why are you saying that? Now, it seems like it's just another why question, but I'm actually asking the the interlocutor to give a reason for his opinion. Okay, so that's a meta process type of question. Okay, now let's move on to fostering language awareness. What does that mean? This is an attempt to draw the learner's attention to the formal and functional properties of their new language. So when you are speaking with someone in English and you are learning the language, you can actually foster, that means to show and grow, to make this grow, this awareness. So, contrasting situations, for example, gives you more of an idea about what a person is thinking. Changing roles, for example, is another way. Discussing forms, this is the meta language that we were talking about before, and giving insiders views. Now, so these are ways that you can actually help yourself grow in awareness. Okay, maybe some practical ways. Contrasting situations. I am presenting. We're having a small talk at the bar. We have a drink. This is a good drink. Yes. Do you like beer? Yes, I like beer. And you could say something like, in my country, we really don't drink so much beer, to present a contrasting situation. This helps both the interlocutor and the learner to actually find new ways of exploring the language. Changing roles. This is This is if I am speaking as the tourist, no, oh, that's a beautiful place. Is it expensive? When does it open? And maybe I become now the guide. So I say, well, if I were in my country, I would say this. And so you're actually changing the role there, discussing the forms. Someone says, I used to live in New York City. So you say, used to live, used to. What does that mean exactly? It's like saying I lived in New York City. It's the past. So you are discussing the forms. That's actually analyzing the language, giving an insider's view, some kind of cultural awareness. You know, in my country, we don't do this. In my country, we don't say this. In my country, we have a formal pronoun that we use to address people. Okay, these are all ways of fostering language awareness. And some of the approaches, which are very important, transforming the language practitioners into strategic thinkers, strategic teachers, and strategic explorers. Yes, that's right. You heard me right. I said strategic teachers.